promote a message of love or, you know, a lesson learned, something that someone can walk away with thinking with a positive mind state, even if it's coming from a negative point of view.
This song is dedicated.
So when did you start singing?
I started singing as a little girl, you know, just in tune with the radio and in the choir at school. Did a couple talent shows in high school. And then it's like, you know, I was like, yeah, maybe I could do that for a career. And then I was like, kind of went away from it. And then did a couple of things, you know, as an older person. And I'd say I've more been on the scene publicly since 2007, doing underground shows and live shows.
So what's your favorite song that you did so far? Do you have one?
I have a lot of favorite songs. I'd say that one called Love Too Strong on my album. I think that's a really dope song because I got to more express my vocals in regards to how the beat was. I got to really sing it out. And I use a lot of strong vocals on that track, so I really like it. I like a lot of other ones, but that one's really dope.
And you tell me, what was your first song? Do you remember?
The first song that I wrote,
That really went public. Right?
Oh, that really went public. It was a song called Spiritual Thing, and it was just mainly, you know, I put it online on MySpace and stuff like that and YouTube. But that was it didn't really go far. I didn't release it or anything like that. But that was the first song that I had basically on a public level. It was called Spiritual Thing, and I used to perform it a lot when I first started performing live. That was a dope song too. It was more or less just talking about love. And I was in love with a guy, and it's more of a spiritual thing, not the physical about me.
Which artists are you listening to?
I listen to everybody. Like I said, I'm more old school. You know, I got that old soul, Bobby Womack kind of vibe, you know. But I listen to any and everything that's playing. I try my best to get in there and listen. There's so many artists to name. But I definitely am keeping my ear to the streets and to the radio, you know, just so that I'm up to date with the times and the genre, the beats and, you know, the sound of what's going on. I mean, I love the oldies, but I don't want to be stuck in an era that people are not really, you know, taken to or drawn to. So I bring that old school with the new school.
How would you describe your singing style for those unfamiliar with your music?
I'd say I'm that soulful, jazzy, hip-hop kind of keep it real homegirl.
Are there any musicians, people that have inspired your music? What's motivated you to do music?
A lot of musicians. There's so many to name and so many genres, from, you know, old soul, you know, to reggae. You know, you have to new school, like, you know, Patti LaBelle and Aretha Franklin and Freddie McGregor to Bob Marley. You know, so there's a lot of people. There's too many to name, but I'm an old school girl, so my mother always played music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, and the various genres she played. R&B, soul, calypso, reggae, country. So, you know, there's way too many artists to name, but there's a lot of them.
Who inspired you in the beginning stages of your career as a musician?
Inspired by a lot of artists on TV worldwide, but I think that's when the Toronto scene had a bigger impact on me, because I saw people from Toronto on TV. So it was like, hey, you could sing, you know, you're in key with the notes. If they're doing it, they're on much music, then you can do that too. So I think it was, I wouldn't say I know it was more or less, you know, the artists that were around, Julie Black, Ghetto Concept, Michie Me, even Keisha Shante was on the scene when I was younger. So, you know, there was a lot of artists, Maestro Fresh West, and sorry to any other Canadian artists I left out, but, you know, anybody that had a video on TV or was playing on the radio and I knew that they were from Toronto, that more inspired me to do my thing.
Who inspires you now to keep pushing forward with your music?
I'd say the Most High, God, because I know that I've been blessed with a talent that I can't just sit on. You know, if you sit down and you let your talent waste, then it's better you didn't even have that talent. So, you know, I'd say the Most High and my children. And my fans too. I don't forget the fans. People who love me. People who shout me out from Germany, China, Amsterdam, UK. You know, people who don't even live close. They might be on the other side of the globe and they'll be like, you know what? Have fun at your show tonight. I know you're going to do well. Just little things like that. And people supporting me online and anywhere else. You guys motivate me too. And inspire me.
So from where you started to now, how far and how much do you think you've grown?
I've grown a lot personally, you know. Being an artist, you also have to, and a singer, you have to be able to take constructive criticism, which I realize a lot of people don't want to do. So I have grown a lot because when I first started singing, my voice is very strong, it's very powerful. I had no voice control, you know, I didn't know how to deliver the tones properly. You know, I had to do vocal training and I still use those techniques and still do vocal training till this day. And then, you know, going to shows where it's like you had to fight to get that mic to get on stage. You know, those days bring back memories. So, and then going to now doing paid shows. So, you know, I've grown a lot. It's just I haven't released an album or an EP yet or anything like that, like a full, you know, compilation of songs. It's always just been singles and doing a lot of live performances. But through that, I've grown and I've definitely learned a lot about the industry, you know, and just how to approach the music scene on that level.
All right.
Relax. Where did the concept for this song come from?
that came from a ex-boyfriend of mine. And that's a song I actually wrote pretty quickly. So I got the beat from Smokey. Big up, shout out Smoke Shop Productions, Smokey. And he sent me the beat and right away I was like, yo, I'm just writing to it. I just wrote to it and the hook was kind of different, but then I changed it up and that was the first single I had. It was actually from a past relationship. So that song is all true.
Is there a certain type of message you usually try to convey in your songs?
Try to, you know, get that love in there, even if it's coming from a negative point of view. You know, I mean, some songs are grimy, but, you know, I try a lot for the positivity and the love, but, you know, life is what it is. Some are sad, some are coming from a point of anger, you know, different emotions, you know.
So what do you find is a good environment to gain inspiration to write?
In an environment that you're comfortable in, most definitely. Somewhere where you don't have to be, you know, on your toes, and somewhere where you could just relax, be yourself in that environment. I've been in many environments, and as you're asking how long it takes me to write a song, I've been in an environment where I just couldn't write the words down, or I couldn't sing the song properly because I was not comfortable. You know, for example, some studios. You know, a lot of people are not comfortable in just standing in front of a mic and singing in a box, and I was one of those people. So you definitely have to be in an environment where you're comfortable and you can be yourself.
So how do you plan to get more people to hear your music?
Just by marketing myself on a larger scale, more publicly and internationally. I'd say a lot of artists are just focused on pushing themselves and where they're from, or, you know, a certain city or area or country, and, you know, I'm just looking at the broader picture, going abroad with my music and taking it overseas, and, you know, hopefully having a good marketing team, or, you know, strong marketing personnel behind me to help me do that. And there's a lot of ways, you know, like the internet is very good for pushing your music. So, you know, it's just about doing something and being consistent with it and not stopping.
What was the experience like to open for such artists as PB Crack, Cannabis, and Popcorn?
Oh, it was dope. It was really dope. You know, it was a great experience. Just to know that I got to open for these well-known artists and very talented artists. It was really good, and I always try to have fun with my music no matter what I'm doing, so it was a fun experience as well.
Last year, you were one of many artists featured on the Hot Docs TIFF Festival's hip-hop documentary, Alias. Tell us how that came about.
Oh, that was pretty dope. So I worked with Nia from CMP Studios for many years. That's one of the first places I started doing my recording for my music, and they based their documentary off of a dope rapper named Don Million, Alias. That's where the name for the documentary came from, Alias, Don Million. So they had him and a few other hip-hop artists that they were doing the feature on. So they said they want some females, and Nia referred me to them. I'm talking about Michelle Latimer. Lots of love and blessings to you, homegirl. She's a director from Strill Films who put the documentary together. And then she got at me and she said, you know what? You're basically all the female I need. She said, forget about any other females. I'm just gonna feature you. So that was a really dope experience because it was like a different side of the music. It wasn't, they're following you every day with a live camera. So all the cussing and things that you don't want to get on camera is basically on camera. And it's just, the natural struggles and the natural daily living of being an artist. And then also the documentary was really dope because it went to Hot Docs, and I don't think any of us expected that much of success for it. It was #1 in Hamilton's Film Festival. It was the only Canadian film featured in the Way Out West tour, and it was also featured in TIFF for a Bell Lightbox. So it was really dope. We got a lot of press and a lot of media press for that documentary, so I'm thankful for it.
Lastly, what's the music scene here like in Toronto for a female artist?
The music scene, right now it's pretty much open. For a female artist in Toronto, sometimes there could be some challenges, and I don't think it's only in Toronto, I just think worldwide, not to be on that feminist tip, but it just is a lot harder. I've been in so many situations where I just want to deal with the music, just about the music, and it goes into other things. People use your talent and your blessing and your music to just get at you, and they don't want to do anything that has to do with music. So I'd say right now the scene is pretty much open. It's wide open actually. So you got a lot of female artists from Toronto doing their thing, but in all overall it's pretty much open where there's a chance to get in there and make yourself known and put that stamp on the people where they be like, this is Keon Love, I'm gonna remember her, I'm not gonna forget her, she's not just a song that I heard.
From your point of view, what's the Toronto scene like now compared to 2007 when you made your debut?
I think that the Toronto scene now is a lot more, I think it's easier to get into, but compared to when I started, I saw a lot more hungry artists. Like I said, it's very serious when you have like 10 artists and there's only a certain amount of time for everybody to get on stage, and everybody's literally fighting for that mic. People are batting up the DJ, you better put me on next. They're giving the CD, they're taking other people's CDs away so they can't go on next. So when I started out in the industry, and I was one of, few females that rapped and sang. But, there were other female artists on the scene as well. It was like, everybody was so hungry. Everybody was just like, yo, let me get it. Now, I think because the internet has evolved so much, it's a lot easier to just do a video, put it online and say, I'm an artist from Toronto, so I'm a Toronto artist. I'm a rapper, I'm a singer. People were doing videos those days, but we weren't really doing that many hood videos. But we had a goal, like we want to try to get on much so the whole of Canada can see it, I'm not saying artists aren't hungry right now. Artists are very hungry, but I don't really see a lot of, I'd like to see a more independent and live underground shows going on in Toronto right now, I should say. You know, I mean, big up to anybody who's doing their thing as an artist. But when we started out, it was like, and we weren't even getting paid for those shows. And when Freddie Fame, big up to Freddie Fame, used to do those, you know, open mics and the live shows at Suba. It was crazy. It was like a jungle, but it was a lot of fun too.
You've been involved with many projects such as Sickle Cell Foundation, Rogers TV, Toronto's Talent 2008, and you were featured in Now and FP Magazine. What did you learn from these experiences looking back?
That there's no limit to what I can achieve, you know. They're all different venues and concerts and genres and magazines. You know, when you compare FP Magazine, that's more of an underground hood magazine, to Now Magazine, who, you know, they don't really feature, their whole thing is not all about hip-hop or not all about R&B. So, you know, I get to be on both sides of the fence in regards to the crowd-wise, the urban market to the, you know, the rural market. So I get to get exposed in different ways, and I'm thankful. I'm very, very thankful for that.
You're a holistic nutritionist as well. Many artists have been known to use drugs to either enhance their singing voice, perform at a higher level, or to just deal with the hectic travel schedules prevalent nowadays. Why do you think it is important for singers as well as everyone else to take care of their health?
Because your health first. You can't do anything if you're not healthy. I mean, if your health deteriorates, then everything else is going to deteriorate, you know, most definitely. And that's what I've learned, even from self-experience and helping a lot of people out there, that you have to put your health first. You know, if you keep ignoring a problem, or, you know, keep adding to a problem or creating a problem health-wise, you can't do anything. You can't sing, you can't get up and go to work, you can't do anything. So your health is always number one.
Tell us about your forthcoming album, Love Chronicles.
Okay. That album has been in the making for like the past 4 years. I don't know how many times I've said, my album's coming out next month or next year or whatever. So it's really, really ready. And I'm just happy that it's actually done, because I've made so many changes. I've edited so many times. I've replaced songs. I've fixed songs. I've done so many different things. And it's like, you know, you can't always perfect everything. So I've just basically put the compilation of love songs together from different aspects, you know, being in love, love towards the children, love for my boyfriend, love for my mother, you know, love drama, you know. That's why I called it Love Chronicles. So I just want to hurry up and get that out, because I'm already working on the second album, and I just want to introduce myself to the people on a larger scale, because the album's been highly requested for a very, very long time.
And what can fans expect from the album compared to other albums released at this time?
They can expect, you know, a lot of jazzy groove, something you can dance to, you know, hum to, sing to, as well as, you know, I rap too. So, you know, there's a few rap tracks on there. So they can expect the diversity from within me, you know, getting exposed to another side. Some people don't even know that I rap. So, you know, it's kind of like that Lauryn Hill flow, that vibe coming back on the scene. I don't really see a lot of female artists rapping and singing, especially from Canada, Toronto, much less Canada. So I'm bringing that different flavor in the air.